See, there are few areas. So I'll start with Basel, okay, to answer Saida's question. So Saida, Basel is basically a framework, right? So the framework meaning that it's basically they tell you how to implement, how to manage your risk. It's basically a risk framework, right? So if you see Basel 2. The latest one right now that is going on is Basel, right? So these are frameworks. So when I say framework, so framework is basically basic, structure of something, right? So for example, like a car, right? Car has a framework, right? It has a frame, and then around that they put engine and they put doors and they put windows and all that. So for example, your house is like a basic frame, right? And then on that frame, then they add windows, doors, and kitchen and toilet and all those things. So framework basically means that basic structure of anything, right? So now in the context of Basel, the basic structure for risk, managing your risk, right? Because the key thing that they are trying to address here is they are basically saying that, hey, we want to make sure that the financial institutions, the banks, they have enough capital against their risk-weighted assets, right? So you have three kind of risks that I was explaining you: credit risk, operational risk, and market risk, right? So there are three kind of risks. The credit risk is risk associated with the loans that you have given out with the help of different instruments and the products is pretty much the same thing, okay? So with the help of various products, right? If you go to like any bank, let's say if you go to Wells Fargo website, right? If you go to their website, you'll see they have so many different products, right? They have checking accounts, savings accounts, fixed deposit, debit and prepaid cards, credit card, foreign exchange, global remittance, payment and transfer and pay, mobile features, loans, mortgage loan, home equity loans, personal liens. You see so many different products they have, right? IRA, investment products, IRAs, 401ks, then they have wealth management, private banking, all these different products that they have, right? Then this is just for individual customers. Then they have products for businesses as well, right? So for businesses, they have so many different products. And for loans, again, they have loans for businesses as well, small business loans, real estate loans for business, merchandise sales, all these different. And I would encourage you guys to go through, understand all the different products that they are offering and they deal with. Okay, so institutional banking, investment banking, what are all these securities, treasury management, all these different things, right, that they have. So all of these products involve risk. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
All of these products that they are selling, they are how the bank is making money. The bank is making money by charging some sort of fees or some sort of interest over these loans that they are selling, right? Some loans are basically loans, some are deposits, right? So for example, let's say saving accounts, checking accounts. This is not a loan. This is a deposit, right? The bank is taking deposit, but what the bank is doing, they are giving you less interest, and they basically use that money to give out loans, and then they are charging more interest on that, right? So that's how they are making money. So, but each of these products has some or the risk associated with that, right?
Yes.
So in the event of a financial event of a financial meltdown, right? You know, right? Now every now and then there is like a there is financial crisis, right? The markets, they tend to go low, or something happens. Let's say right now this trade war that is going on with China, right? That has implications. Then there are sometimes, like in 2008 there was mortgage crisis, because of which there was total financial crisis, because of which the banks stopped lending to each other, and the whole financial cycle literally came to stop, right? And that when the financial cycle comes to stop, then what happens is the people are not able to get loans. Businesses are not able to get loans. When the businesses are not able to get loans, then they are not able to do make products, or they are not able to do any run their factories or their operations. And when they are not able to run their operations, obviously people get laid off. When people are getting laid off, again, they cannot pay to the bank, right? So I mean, all the things are interconnected. That's how economy works, right? All these things are interconnected. So in the terms, so the Federal Reserve Board, which is the regulator, and the U.S. government, right? They basically came up that, okay, we need to make sure that the banks are healthy and the banks can absorb risk, because if the banks go down, the whole economy will go down, right? So that's why there are all these different framework started coming in. So that's why you need to have good understanding of risk. What is risk, right? So all these, so you have to define risk. So even when you talk about credit risk, there are different kind of mortgage risk. So mortgage loan, credit card loan, line of credit, floating charge, all these different kind of, with different kind of instrument or different kind of product, a different kind of risk is involved. And there are two ways to calculate your risk, right? For credit risk, there is a standard approach, and what is the other approach? Advanced approach. Okay. So in the standard approach, what you do is you take ratings from third-party rating systems, such as Moody's, Fitch, Standard and Poor. Have you heard the name Standard and Poor, Moody's, Fitch?
I've heard Moody's, never heard.
Moody's, yeah. So these are nothing but rating agencies, right? So they give ratings for different kind of products, and according to the ratings, they calculate the risk weight. Okay, so for example, let's say you have, let's say, $100 million of, let's say $100 million of a mortgage loan. You have given people $100 million of mortgage loan, and they calculate the RW associated with the, let's say, mortgage loan is 8%. So your RW will become 8 million, right?
Right.
So similarly to credit card, let's say it's 100%, and you have given 20 million of loan. So your RW will become 20 million. I mean, it's not that simple. Obviously, there is lot of more complex calculation that goes into the picture, and especially when you take the advanced approach, right? Because if you take the standard approach, okay, whatever the risk rating the third party is giving to different products, you can use that rating. But if you are using the advanced approach, in the advanced approach, you calculate, remember these three things, okay? Probability of default, what is EAD? Exposure at default and loss given default, okay? So what is the probability of default? Can you tell me? Any one of you?
Yeah, I saw your video, but I forgot right now. You have this video.
Right. What does probability mean?
Possibility.
Huh?
Possibility.
What is it? Possibility, exactly. So that what is the possibility? Exactly. That what is the possibility of that a loan will get defaulted? And they calculate that possibility based on, so for example, let's say somebody who makes, who has a master's degree. Okay, he has been working for 10 years. He is like a vice president of some company. He is making $200,000 income, okay, salary. And he has taken a loan of, let's say, $50,000. Maybe he has a $50,000 of credit card. So what is the possibility that person will become, that person loans will become delinquent, right? The possibility is low, right? Versus, let's say there is a person who is making $50,000 a year. He is only, he's only bachelor's. He doesn't have much education. He's only making $50, and he only has 2 years of experience that he has been into job, and his credit score is low. So what is the possibility that he will default on his payment? His possibility is higher, right?
Yeah.
So that is one criteria. Other criteria, so there are different criteria that they use to determine the probability of default. Things like DTI. DTI is debt to income ratio. Okay, you can write it down. DTI is debt to income ratio. Then there is LTV. LTV is loan to value ratio. That what is the loan amount and what is the value of the collateral that is there. So loan to value, DTI, income, all these different things, credit scores, all these different things, they matter while calculating probability of default. What is exposure at default? Exposure at default is basically the total money that is exposed, right? So let's say you have given loan of $1 million. So your total exposure at default is $1 million. Okay. And what is loan given default? Loss given default. Loss given default is LGD, is basically the loss that will occur to you in the event the loan become defaulted. Okay.
Didn't get it. I didn't get it.
So loss given default is, so for example, you have given a mortgage loan to some customer. Okay, and the total loan is, let's say, $100,000. And obviously, the collateral is the property itself, right? The bank will keep the papers of the home, right? Because they are the first lien holder. They call it lien holder. So the bank will be the first lien holder on the house, right? So tomorrow, let's say the person is not able to make money, able to make payment. Let's say he made payment of $30,000. Now the loan is left on the house for $70,000, and he loses his job or something happens, and he cannot make the payment, right? So what the bank will do? Bank will send him notice, right? So he'll be first 30 days late, then he will be 60 days late, then he will be 90 days late. So after 90 days, or different banks has different criteria, but mostly it's 90 days. After 90 days, the account becomes delinquent. So there is a difference between default and delinquency. Okay, you need to know this. So what is default? Default is when somebody stops making payment. So the account becomes default. You are default on your account. Okay?
Right.
So that's called default. What is delinquent? Delinquent is when the person is, there is this period, 30-day period, 60-day period, 90-day period. If the person is not making till 90-day period also, then the account becomes delinquent. Delinquent means that you have lost hopes, that now the recovery process needs to start. They have to initiate the recovery process, because they do not initiate the recovery process as soon as the first payment is defaulted. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So once there is a certain period of time till which they wait, depending on different products. So for mortgage, let's say 120-day delinquency is there, or let's say for credit card 60 days delinquency is there. For different products, they account for different number of days. But so once the account is delinquent, that means they need to initiate the charge off and recovery. What is recovery? Recovery is, okay, so they will try to sell the house. They will foreclose the house. They will send notices. They have to work with the government or whatever the legal agency is there to acquire the collateral and, evacuate the people. Sometimes people don't leave their house. There are so many, they have to do it legally, right? They cannot just send goons to somebody's house and throw them out and take over the house, right? There is a legal process that happens. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that process happens, so that after, whatever the process is, let's say after that they are able to recover. So the loan was $70,000. Now you have to sell the house right away, right? They are not going to wait. Whoever the lowest bidder will come and they will sell it that too, right? They'll just try to make sure they recover. But let's say although let's say the house is worth 100,000 or something like that, but let's say it's not selling for 100,000 for some reason, and let's say it sells for, let's say, $60,000, right? So they are able to recover the 60,000, but they're still left with $10,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that $10,000 will be charged off. Okay, so that whatever the money that they lose or that they cannot recover on a particular loan, that is called charge off amount. Okay, so in this case, what is the loss that happened to the bank? $10,000. right?
Yeah.
Right. But what was the total exposure? The total exposure at that point in time was $70,000.
So Ankit, so about the house, when you buy, or if I cannot make the payment, it goes foreclosure. But behind this work, Freddie Mac, Freddie Min, it does not work like that.
Right. See, again, yeah, you are right. That might happen if the loan is a conforming loan. Okay, the Freddie Mac and Freddie Mac, they will cover the amount and all that, but they also come into picture after that. Yeah, you are right. The 10,000 that they might charge off, then they can claim that 10,000 from Freddie Mac and Freddie Mac if the
Yes.
loan was a conforming. If the loan
But-
was a conforming loan, always remember,
Yeah.
if it was conforming
Oh,
loan.
if it's confirming loan.
Right.
Okay.
But you don't need to go in that much detail. What the purpose of me explaining you to this is not to learn the life cycle of the loan, which is important. Obviously, if you understand the life cycle of how a loan gets foreclosed and you understand what is a default, what is delinquency, all these things, what is charge off, what is recovery, all these things, that's important because you will be seeing these data elements in the tables that you will be querying and all. You will see all of these different data elements. So it's important that you understand these terms. But what I was trying to explain you is what is loss given default. Loss given default is basically the money that you will lose on that loan, right? Exposure at default is the total money that is at exposure.
I understand.
Is it clear, Sayeda?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it.
So exposure default and loss given default. So exposure
Loss-
is total
loss
money.
given
Loss given default means it's not total money. It's like percent.
Yes.
Percent. 20%.
Right. So again, then this is how so if you are using advanced methodology, using these three parameters, you calculate the probability of default.
So,
Okay.
So Ankit, so far last day you give lecture about the credit risk. So this is the credit risk too. I understand this video is clear too, and before whatever you posted video, that video is clear too. So according to your, just to give that type of explanation about risk. So what we have role on that? Like we have to make sort of a report, or I have to understand how does it work? What is that as a BA?
I'll explain you that. So in if you have to implement Basel, right? So the
Yes.
report for Basel, there are two reports. One is FFIC 101 and another is Pillar 3 report. That day I was showing you Pillar 3 report.
Yeah, one more time,
Pillar
like
three-
Ankit, one more time, like 1 minute. I think. So far, I read Basel. Basel is the pillar. So first, Basel has number 1 pillar. So the Pillar 1 main capital requirement, Basel 1, and they added Basel 2.
Pillar,
Yeah.
Pillar 1.
Yeah.
Number 1 pillar. Don't say
And
number 1 pillar.
Basel
Pillar
2, Basel 2, they add 3 things: main capital requirement, supervisory review and role, and market disciplinary and disclosure. They add the
Right.
3 things in Basel 2. So that is the distinct difference between Basel 1, Basel 2, and
Right now, the one that is going on is Basel 3. In Basel 3, the difference between Basel 2 and Basel 3 is that there's just a difference between, you can even Google, there's just a difference between the way you calculate your capital, right? So Basel 2 versus Basel.
If I say Basel is the role and regulation for bank, so what pillar, what Basel they're using, 1, 2, or 3? Wells Fargo Bank, which one they're using? They have to follow that role and regulation. Which one?
Right, but see, that's what I'm trying to explain you. That Basel, it's a version of the same reporting framework.
Okay.
Right. Like how, for example, let's say, so Basel 1 came in 1988. Basel
Yes.
2 came in 2004. Basel
Yes.
3 came in 2011-12. So it's basically they are upgrading it. They are basically making
updated version.
As the economy of the world is changing, they are updating the regulations also. But basically, the basic framework is the same.
Basic framework same. Just they add something for bank.
And the basic framework is basically to make sure that bank has adequate capital against their risk-weighted assets.
Yes.
Okay, that is the basic intention. That is the basic intention of the regulation, that to make sure the bank has adequate capital against risk-weighted assets. Okay, but how to calculate capital, how to calculate risk-weighted assets, how to calculate under risk-weighted assets, you calculate your credit risk, market risk, operational risk. So how to calculate credit risk, how to calculate market risk, how to calculate operational risk, how to calculate capital, what is the ratio, how much capital do you need to? So in Basel 1 it was 8%. Now they have reduced it to 4.5 of tier 1 capital, because capital is also tier 1, tier 2. So they are just making the basic formula is the same. They are just making changes a little bit to the formula. That's it.
Yes, I got it.
Okay. So that is Basel. Okay, and to report Basel numbers, the report that we use is FFIEC 101. FFIEC 101, we submit this report directly to the bank submit this report directly to the FRB.
Got it.
Okay. And pillar 3 has pretty much the same data. Pillar 3 report has pretty much the same data as FFIEC 101, but they disclose that report to the investor. See, they disclose it to investors. Okay, they have to publish that on their website. Both the report has pretty much the same data. It will have the credit risk data, market risk data, your capital numbers, capital summary, credit risk, operational risk, market risk. It will pretty much have the same kind of data that they are reporting, but the government wants that, okay, you disclose this report to your investors also. So to the investors, they will maybe just report the high level numbers and all, but if you open the report, FFIEC, let me show you FFIEC 101. Okay, so if you open this FFIEC 101 report, this report is much more in detail, but they don't submit it to the public. It is directly submitted to the regulators.
Are you sharing your screen?
Oh, I'm not? Okay.
Please, can you share your screen, please?
Oh, I thought I was sharing my screen. Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, okay. So see, this is the Pillar 3 report. I downloaded it from this is the Wells Fargo website. On their Wells Fargo website, Pillar 3 disclosure. Disclosure means to disclose it to the public, right? So they have put this report. Anyone can access and download this report, Pillar 3 report. In this report, you will see they are reporting the credit risk. They are reporting the capital summary, how much capital they have, how much credit risk. Under credit risk also, they are reporting for retail credit risk, wholesale credit risk, counterparty credit risk, securitization credit risk, equity. Because there are these, this is how they divide the asset classes. Okay, so retail asset class, wholesale asset class, counterparty asset class, securitization, and equity. Okay. And then there is operational risk and market risk. You know what operational risk and market risk is, right?
Yes, I got
market
it,
risk is the risk associated with different markets. When we talk about markets, so there's like capital markets, commodity markets, currency markets, and operational risk is risk associated with the operations. Okay. Now
like
they have complex
IT
calculations. Right. You can read these. These are very important. If you download this Basel 3 Pillar 3 report, I would encourage you to read this report. At least the main things, operational risk, all these things. So you will clearly understand how they calculate it and what does it mean. And they will basically publish the numbers. They'll publish the number for example, this is counterparty credit risk. Okay. So for how they report it, OTC derivatives, foreign exchange contracts, equity contracts. Okay, all these are basically different products, and these products fall under the counterparty asset class. Okay.
Okay.
So please read this report, like retail, under retail. Okay, what are the different? This is PD range, means probability of default range. So basically, what they are saying is, the loans that have probability of default from 0.00 to 0.10, the total amount is 213,000 million. Is it in million or thousand? In millions. This is in millions. Okay. So 213,000 millions. So out of the total retail loans, the residential mortgage first lien loan, the total balance worth $213,000 million. The probability of default is this much. Okay, from this to this range, $396 million have this much probability that it may default. You see how they are calculating?
Right.
This is the total balance sheet amount. Out of this total loan amount, this is the undrawn amount. Means the customer has not withdrawn this money, but the bank has allocated that money to the customer. He has not withdrawn that money till now. So total exposure at default means how much the customer has taken. So this is the total exposure at default.
Now it's making more sense.
Okay. So what is the risk weight percentage? Now they are calculating the risk weight percentage. So what is the total? And this is only for first lien mortgage. Okay. Now you can Google what is first lien mortgage. This is a product that they qualify. Then there is residential junior lien mortgage. Then there is residential revolving mortgage. Okay. So like that, they are all the mortgage data they are explaining. Okay, for different type of products. Now there is commercial loans. So this is the total commercial loans that they are net charge off. Net charge off means, I explained you, right? Charge off means the money that they are charging off that they could not recover. So net charge off from the commercial and retail, commercial and industrial loans is 133 million. Real estate mortgage is 6 million, like that. Okay, credit card is this much, whatever it is. Okay, now expected credit loss. So you can read this report. It is self-explanatory. Okay, so this is pillar 3 report. Okay, and they are explaining all the numbers. They are publishing the numbers, and then they are the whole literature as of my blah blah blah. You know, they are explaining all these things. Okay, they see this is their capital. Their tier 1 capital is 169,000 million. Tier 2 capital also somewhere they would have total capital. Their total capital is 199, almost 200,000 million. Okay, you calculating through the advanced approach, and if they calculate through the standard approach, then it is this much. See, they are calculating through using both the approaches, advanced approaches also and the standardized approaches as well. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what Basel is, right? And I'll explain you what is your role. You won't be like building this whole report. You won't be doing that, but I'll explain you what your role is. Okay, so this is the Basel III report, and this is FFIC 101 report. So in this report, you will see there are different schedules. Okay, Schedule A. So Schedule A is basically regulatory capital. Okay, Schedule B is basically risk-weighted assets. Now Schedule C is basically wholesale exposure. Schedule D might be a wholesale exposure. So like that they have different schedules. Okay, so this is FFIC 101 report. So this is basically more detailed. You see, in the Basel III they are publishing the numbers, but they are just giving limited information, right? But in FFIC 101 you see how detailed it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is Basel. So this is the Basel framework. Now similar to that there is CCAR framework. There is so many regulations that a bank has to go through. CCAR. Okay. So what is CCAR? CCAR is a similar.
Yes. Yeah. Continue, please.
So CCAR is a similar framework as Basel. It is called Comprehensive Capital Analysis and Review. Okay, so basically this is more detailed analysis, pretty much the same kind of things. Okay, so in CCAR also you basically calculate your, let me download a CCAR report, 14A. So under CCAR, there are several schedules. Okay. Okay. But the fundamental difference is in the CCAR report. See, this one also has different schedules. Schedule A1 is income statement. Okay. Schedule A1, Schedule A2 is balance sheet. Okay, like that. Different schedule. They are just basically reporting the financial data. All of this is what? Financial data, right?
Yes.
But if you pay attention, in this report, they are reporting whatever the balance is as of day. Okay, so always remember, when you report the numbers, you report it as of some particular day. Okay, so in a financial quarter, in a financial year, how many financial quarter are there?
4
4, right? January to March,
March.
April to June is second quarter, July to September is third quarter, October to December is fourth quarter. So like that, there are 4 financial quarter, right? So some of these reports, so I think FFIC 101 is, I think, annual report. You have to submit it once in a year. I think annual or semi-annual. I think either twice. So CCAR 14A is also semi-annual. They call it annual, but they submit it semi-annually, means 2 times in a. So they submit 6:30 data as of 6:30 and as of 12:30/31. Okay, so you will always see this as of report, as of date. So as of date basically would be a quarter end date, depending on the schedule of that report, right? So for example, there is 14M report. So 14M, 14Q and 14A. 14A is annual report submitted semi-annually. 14Q is quarter report. So it is submitted every quarter.
Okay.
Okay, every quarter end. So they'll submit it at the end of 3:30. Maybe they'll submit it at like 4:15, by 4:15, but the data that they'll submit is still 3:30 data. Okay. And then
I have
there
a
is,
question. For FFIC 101, is it more like, I see the similarity with the, is there any similarity, like, are these the similar kind, or if I see like for a different purpose?
yeah, the difference is first of all, the schedules are different. Okay, if you see, so they are reporting income statement, FFIC 101. You can compare the report. I mean, you are just reporting pretty much same. See, here also they are reporting first lien mortgage number. There also they are, but it's just the way they classify it is basically differently, but pretty much the same kind of numbers.
Got it.
Okay, but the fundamental difference is that in this report you have to report the actual. So when CA, this is called MDRMs. Okay, I told you last time also, these are called MDRMs, these codes. The purpose of these MDRMs is to basically uniquely identify a line item. Okay, so in this report you report the actuals and you report the projections for next 9 quarters. So basically in CCAR report, you have to calculate how your numbers will look like for next 9 quarters. So let's say as of, let's say this is 6:30. Okay, so as of 6:30, this is how your numbers are looking like. So what your number will look at as of 9:30, as of 12:30, as of next year 3:30, then again as of next year 9:30. So for next 9 quarters, you have to calculate your balances. What do you estimate it to be? Obviously, it's an estimated number, right? So you have to submit your estimations, and you have to submit your estimations or projections. They call it projections. You have to submit your projections based on 3 different scenarios. You understand what is a scenario, right? So the first scenario is that you assume that the market conditions are normal. They call it baseline scenario. Okay, there is you can write it down. Baseline, there are 3 kind of scenario. Baseline scenario. So in the baseline scenario, you assume that your market risk, your operational risk, and your credit risk is baseline. Okay, then the next scenario is adverse scenario. Okay, the next scenario is called, see, baseline scenario, adverse scenario, and severely adverse scenario. So in the baseline scenario, you assume that your market risk credit risk, market risk, and operational risk is baseline. In adverse scenario, you assume that your credit risk is high, your market risk is high, and your operational risk is also high. And in severely adverse scenario, you assume that your credit risk is very high, your market risk is also very high, and your operational risk is also very high. So under all these three different scenarios, you have to demonstrate that you have enough capital, even if the scenarios changes tomorrow. If there is an event of downturn, you can still have enough capital. You have to prove it to and they will review it. Okay, and there are different modeling calculate techniques that they use to do the projection. Even I've never been involved in projection. If somebody asks you how do you do projections, you can say that you just consume the numbers. There was a different group who used to calculate the projections. But I'm telling you what are the bases. So these are the three. But I know what are the different scenarios under which they calculate the projections. There is a baseline scenario, adverse scenario, and severely adverse scenario. You can say that. Okay.
Okay.
MD, are you following?
Yes.
Okay. So now I will come to, so you understand what is the difference between Basel and CCAR?
Yes.
Okay. Now what I will tell you is what is your role. Okay. So guys, so far as you understand, your job is basically to gather the financial data of all the different products of the bank, okay, aggregate it, then calculate RWA, calculate the capital, calculate all these things, calculate the risk, all these different heavy calculations are to be done, and then you report it, you generate the report. You understand that this is the whole game? Are you clear with that?
Yeah. So the calculation part is not me. It's more of like I'm gonna verify and generate it, right?
Right. See, guys, this is a huge bank. You know how big banks are, right? They call it too big to fail. Too big to fail. They call it that they are so big that they cannot be failed. They are too big. Okay. So, and you are just a small contractor in that bank. Okay. So obviously there are so many people, thousands and thousands of people who are involved in this operation. You will be part of a small team. That's all you will be. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So there are financial
Ankit, so this role, Sayeda and my role is same role or a different role?
Pretty much the same role. Why I'm saying that is, see, I'll tell you. See, your role will not be to basically calculate your will be more on the IT side. Okay.
Yes.
So see, there are two sides of the implementation. Okay. One side is the financial side. The people who will decide, okay, how do we calculate credit risk? How do we calculate, do we take the advanced approach or do we take the standardized approach? If we take the advanced approach, how do we calculate the PD? So they are the financial people. They will be making those decisions. You are the IT side of it, but you need to know the terms and all. That's why I'm explaining you all these terms.
Yes.
Okay, you are on the IT side. Your job is to get them the data, and however they tell you, process, and however they tell you, take the requirements from them and tell the developers that this is how you have to treat the data. You will be documenting those requirements. You will not be generating those requirements. You see what I'm saying?
Got it.
Like I got it from your class, warehouse class, so data warehouse. So we have to validate the data. So
you will be dealing with the data. You will be analyzing the data. You will be testing the data.
Testing the data.
You will be more on the data side. You won't be making any financial decision.
Okay. I understand.
You will not worry if my RW is 8% of my total tier 1 capital or no, if my tier 1 capital is 8% or no. You don't worry about that. You are the IT people.
Okay.
You worry about whether the data is available to be reported or not, if the data is correct or not.
Right.
Okay.
So Ankit, short.
Right.
You understand me? That is the
Yes,
way
I
I
do.
get that clear.
Good. That's good. Okay.
Nice.
So
Kit,
in this,
I
yeah,
had a request. Like once you're done explaining Seeker entirely, can you show a little bit about OFSA? Because on my resume, they showed a little bit background on OFSA, so I needed a little more ideas on that one too. I
yeah,
was
yeah.
searching in it.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to
All
that.
right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So guys, see, one thing is, uh, see, when you are developing this report, what are you doing? You are basically developing a software that will produce this report, right? See, most of these reports, Basel report, CICA report, there is different Y9C reports, all these different reports, they are already in production. Okay, they are already in production, but they need some changes. They always make changes in the back end. Okay, let me explain you that. But but whenever you are developing anything, there is a software methodology that you use, software development methodology. That there are two most popular. One is waterfall, another one is agile. Do you understand what is waterfall? What is agile?
I
Yes,
understand
I know
agile.
that. I know waterfall too.
I don't know
Okay.
waterfall, but I know agile.
Okay, I'll explain you what is waterfall. I'll explain you what is waterfall.
I
Waterfall is
I study from YouTube video waterfall.
right. See, waterfall is, yeah, in the waterfall, first of all, you gather the requirements. Okay, requirement gathering. Okay, so under the basically what requirement gathering is basically what needs to be done. So there is this document called BRD. Okay, you can Google what a BRD looks like. It's like a form. Okay, business requirement document. Okay, it's basically a document in Microsoft Word. Okay, this is how it looks like, business requirements. So it will have, okay, what is the purpose, what are the individual requirements, the system shall calculate this, the system shall calculate this, the system should be able to calculate the total balance, the system should be able to calculate the total profit, the system should be able to calculate the total balance. Like that high level requirement they will capture. Okay, what are the assumptions, what are the dependencies, all those kind of things. Just write it down. This is your homework, because these are very basic things. I'm not going to waste my time. Just do some research. What is a BRD? Watch some videos on how BRD look like. What are the different sections in the BRD? This is your homework. Okay, write it down.
Yes, Ankit Singh,
Okay.
you have nice video. I saw that today, BRD. So you explain BRD in page. So version control, also BRD resource, approvals, that type of information has BRD. Also introduction about project summary,
Yes.
project scope. You explain lots about that is the BRD so far. So if you have to understand our project, what will become, what is the next step, so we have to read like very good, carefully BRD.
When you join the project, you can definitely ask your manager or somebody, hey, is there a BRD out there that I can read? So reading the BRD, you will be able to gain the understanding that what exactly they want to achieve within that project. Okay.
Yes.
So that is the BRD. Then there is FRD. FRD is functional requirement document. FRD is more technical in nature. Okay. So BRD will have the requirements in the business term, in the business language. The FRD will have more in technical language. So read about what is FRD. This is also very simple. Okay. What are functional requirements? What are non-functional requirements? Tomorrow I will ask you what are non-functional requirements, and you should be able to tell me. Okay.
What are
So read about
non-functional? What are non-functional?
Requirements.
Ankit, tomorrow morning I'll drive to North Carolina, so it will take 10-15 hours. 11 hours drive. I need like rest 5-6 hours.
That's fine. We can skip tomorrow. We'll connect day after tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you've been explaining waterfall a little bit.
Yeah, sure. I'm explaining that. Okay. So waterfall first phase is requirement gathering requirement. Okay. So and this is very simple. I mean, okay. So let's say for example you want to build a house. Okay, and you contact the architect or whoever the contractor is. So he will ask you, okay, what is your requirement? Right? He will ask you, do you want 2 bedroom? Do you want 2 bathroom? What do you want? So you will document your requirement. So that is the same concept here. Whenever you are developing a project, whenever you are doing some IT implementation, you are developing some data, you are developing some tool, you are developing some functionality. So what is the requirement? What is that you are trying to achieve through that project that you are doing? So to document, you have to document it, right? Everything has to be documented. There are no verbal conversation, right? Everything needs to be documented. So the BRD is made by the business analyst usually, okay, and based on the business analyst interviews the business. See, so when you will join, there will be actual business. Actual business is basically, when we say business, we mean the people who are running the business and who are, I mean, responsible for the. See, you are the IT side, and then there is the business side. Okay. So you develop solutions for the business side. So there will be like the regular. So in the bank, there might be a regulatory reporting group. Okay. The purpose of that group, the regulatory reporting group, will be to publish all these reports and make sure these reports are looking good, that the numbers are looking good, and they will submit to the federal to the FRB. Okay. Now you might be in the IT, so the regulatory reporting group is your business. You will always term this as your business. Okay. But so you will take the requirements from them. They will tell you, okay, you know, we need this thing automated, we need this thing, we need that thing. They'll give you the requirements. Okay. So you will take the requirements through them. You basically go into discussions through meetings or through emails, or they put it in a document and send it to you. There could be so many different ways to gather requirements. Okay. Google it, how to gather requirements. Okay. Read about it. These are very basic business analyst things, guys. Very basic. I mean, even if you Google any basic business analyst video on YouTube, they will explain you very well. Okay. The purpose of business analyst and the purpose of BRD is to gather business requirement. How do you gather business requirement? You gather it from your business. Suppose, let's say you are making a report for the tax, the taxation guys. The guys who submit the tax, the accounting, the finance and accounting department. So the finance and accounting department becomes your business. Okay. Let's say you are implementing a new software for the retail line of business, or let's say for the mortgage line of business. So mortgage line of business becomes your customer or becomes your business. Okay.
So I keep saying
they call it LOB. They call it LOB, line of businesses. There are different line of businesses.
Brother Ankit, let me clarify this. So whatever I understand, requirement is infrastructure. So we need, so whole thing we can run with that. So that infrastructure, like if I open the like restaurant, so I need chef, I need whoever serve the front, I need whoever take care the cash register, and behind I need like economical person or whoever. That's the requirement.
Right. If the project is about building a restaurant.
Yeah.
But let's say if the project is only about making sure that you have to upgrade the payment system of the restaurant, then you don't care about the chef and all these things. Then you just care about the payment system.
Yeah.
So what is the scope of your project? That is called scope.
Oh, scope main work. Scope means
what is the main focus? Exactly. What is the main focus of the work? Just because it is a restaurant doesn't mean you will gather everything about the restaurant. What exactly you are doing in the restaurant? If it's about building the restaurant from ground up, yes, then you will care about all these different things. But maybe within the restaurant, maybe the restaurant is already there. Maybe within the restaurant they just want to do something small. So you have to define your scope. So that's what I'm telling. If you read what is BRD, in the BRD everything is defined. What is in scope, what is out scope. Okay. what is current state, what is future state, what are the requirements, what are the business requirements. So please read it. Even if you read it and then ask me question, it will be better, because most of your questions will be answered by yourself if you read about what is BRD, what is FRD, how to gather business requirements. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So again, in the waterfall, the first phase is gathering the requirements. So in the gathering the requirements, you deliver the BRD, you deliver the FRD, you identify the gaps. Okay. So once you have identified the requirements, then from that requirements, you might have, let's say there are 10 requirements. In that 10 requirements, to fulfill that 10 requirements, let's say there are 20 functional requirements. From the 20 functional requirements, let's say there are 40 data requirements. So out of that 40 data requirements, let's say you already have 5 data requirement already in your database. You already have that 5 data elements. Okay. So that is called identifying the gap. That what you already have and what you don't have. Okay, I will explain you this further going forward. Okay, so there is a how to do gap analysis, how to identify gap. I will explain you further going forward. Okay, just mark it. I'll explain you. Okay. So the first phase is requirement gathering. The next phase is design. In the design, the developer will develop the high-level design and low-level design document. Again, just think Google. What are design documents? If you Google design documents, IT design documents, basically these are more technical documents, but these are created by the developers. You will be, your deliverable could be source to target mapping. I'll explain you what a source to target mapping. Okay. But the next phase is design. Okay. After design, development happens. Development is again done by the developer. You have no role in the development. They will be developing the code. Okay. Then the testing will happen.
Ankit, question. So you're talking about design, like that design is a logical design, like conceptual design. This is not, we are not using this.
If you Google how a design document looks like, you will understand. Just go through some of the design document, go through some of the videos, all that you will understand. But okay. Yes, you are correct. They basically design the system. Okay. How the data will, let me show you something. Now I can even show you real time example. I will continue talking till I'm doing something. Okay. So the next phase is testing. Okay. So in the testing, what happens is, what are the different types of testing? MD?
I'm sorry?
What are the different types of testing? QA, yeah. What are the different types of QA testing?
QA testing and user acceptance testing, and also
what is the full form of QA testing?
Quality assurance testing.
Okay. So quality assurance testing and UAT, user acceptance testing, is the same thing?
No, there's a difference.
So what under QA testing, what are the different kind of testing that you do?
QA testing basically before software goes to the production server, so they test everything. Anything is any fragmented, anything is problem, they try to figure out that.
Okay, guys, write this down. You need to learn about what is QA testing. Okay, I'll give you high level. But you need to learn about it. Okay. So QA testing is quality assurance. It is also called SIT testing. SIT means system integrated testing. Okay. So before the QA testing, they do unit testing in the development. What is unit testing? Unit testing, basically, they just run the code. Okay. So let's say you have to transfer the data. This is a database. This is database. This is table 1. Let's say table 1. And this is table 2. Table 2. And let's say you are transferring the data from table 1 into table 2. There are few columns in table 1, there are few columns in table 2, and you are transferring the data from table 1 into table 2. Let's just say that. Okay. So in the development, the developer will write a code. Okay. He will write a code. Whatever the insert, select, all those in the SQL, using the SQL. Are you guys practicing SQL?
Yes, I'm practicing, but do I have to practice a PL, Oracle, SQL, or MySQL too?
No, just they are not that different. Just go through all this W3 SQLs. Okay. So he will write a SQL code, insert into table, values, all these like this. He will write, it's like a huge code that he will write. And he will write using obviously some tool or something, or maybe he'll write it manually, whatever he does, right? So in the unit testing, what he will do is he will just run the code itself. He will not transfer the data, or maybe he will just transfer a couple of records, but he will make sure that the code is running. There is no error in the code. That is called unit testing. That is called
unit testing.
Unit testing. What is unit testing? Unit testing is basically the testing which is done in the development environment. Okay. Do you know what is development environment? What is test environment? What is UAT environment? What is production environment?
Yes, I know. Production is for users, real data, and testing. Test environment.
Development, testing are all lower environments. They are pretty much like production, but not exactly like production. But you basically first develop your code in the development environment. See, if I want to make some, Sayyada, do you understand what is production, development environment, all these things?
No, actually, I didn't go through them.
Okay. So let's say this is the Wells Fargo website. This is the Wells Fargo website. Okay. I am the business. I want that here there should be a contact us tab. Okay. And under the contact us tab, there should be these names, whatever, numbers, all these different things. So and I want that when they click on this, then this should happen, this should happen. So there will be multiple requirements. Okay. So if they have to if they have to make changes to the website, if they make directly to the production, the website that is being used, wellsfargo.com, this is being used by the customer. If they make changes directly to this website, do you think that is a good idea?
No, absolutely not.
No, right? Because what if they make some mistake and the customer is using the website, and it will give a wrong impression that, hey, their website is so unstable. The customer doesn't know what's happening. They will freak out. So you never make any changes directly to the production unless it is very critical change. If let's say I'm typing wellsfargo.com and the website is also only not opening, then obviously there is production support people. Those people are called production support. If something that is the code is already in the production, if the existing functionality there, let's say I'm clicking on the banking and cards and something is not happening. So obviously there is production and support. They will try to identify the issue. They'll try to remediate it as soon as possible if they can. And if it's like something major, then major code change is required, then they will do it in the testing environment. They will make sure everything is fine, and then they will deploy it into the production. But usually if it's a fresh implementation, you are adding something new, you always, so in the development and website will have www.dev.wellsfargo.com. Okay. They will make a copy of the production like website, and they will change the URL and everything. They will make the changes over there. Then they will copy that code of the development website. They will deploy that code in the testing environment. Okay, that testing environment will be www.test. something like that, test. whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in the testing, then they will test it. They will test whether or not that functionality is working fine, whether other functionalities, they'll make sure the other functionality did not get affected. All these things they will test for multiple scenarios. If the testing is also fine, QA testing, then it will go to UAT testing. UAT testing means the testing done by the business itself. Okay. the testing done by the business, that is UAT testing, means user acceptance testing. Then if it passes in the user acceptance testing also, then it will go to the production. Okay, so testing is a huge topic in itself, and it is very simple, very basic. Again, homework for you guys. Read what is testing. Under testing also, when you do testing, QA testing, there is functional testing. Functional testing means making sure the basic functions that is required. So let's say the basic function was that this bank and card tab should be there, and this should. So that is the basic. Let's say the basic function was that the user and password should be there. So this is the basic functional testing. Then you have to do regression testing. Regression testing means you will test the other functionalities as well, making sure they are not getting affected. Because sometimes you make some changes in some part of the website, maybe other part will get affected or something like that, right? It is possible, right?
Yes.
So that is, or so that is called regression. Regression testing is basically, so let's say when you identify some defect, let's say I'm not entering any username, I'm directly entering a password, and I click on the sign in, and it is taking me to somebody's account. So that is an error. I identified a defect. So I will log this defect into a testing tool. So there are testing tools. So basically, and then there are test cases. So guys, there is like so many things, but these are so basic things. Testing is very basic.
Yes.
Okay, what are test cases?
Okay. So far I understand, I can share with you. So when is the first open the business or website, so software develop goes the developing section. And then if developing software is done, it goes testing sector. If test is good, so it goes the UAT, user acceptance testing. And then if everything is good, so it goes the production department. That is the main thing, I guess. Huh?
Okay. See, I'm showing you real-time example. Okay. I'm showing you. Okay. You see, Saida, are you seeing?
Yes, I can see that.
Okay. So this is a real BRD. So it is talking about what is the business background. Okay. So in 2016, BTMU is basically a Bank of Tokyo. Okay. Received a MRIA. What is MRIA? MRIA is basically management requires immediate attention. Whenever you submit these reports, okay, all these reports you submit to the federal regulators, they review your systems. They even review the way you generating the report. Okay, they will review everything, and if they find some issues with it, they will generate a MRIA. Okay, what is MRIA? Management is required immediate attention. Okay. So if they issue a MRIA, they will explain what that MRIA is about. So basically, in this bank, the regulators issued a MRIA, and this whole, but that they have to set some strengthen policies, procedures, internal control. This project is regarding data quality. They are saying that the data that you are reporting to us, okay, we understand you are reporting us the data, but how do we trust that your data is correct? How do we trust that your data is correct? So you need to enforce some data quality measures in your system. Okay, that is the project about. Okay, so they are giving the background of this project. What is the objective of the project? The objective of the project, maybe, so they are basically listing the objective. Okay, what is the line of businesses that are getting impacted? So these are the different line of businesses that are getting impacted. Okay, T360, Trade T360 is a data source. Basically, it's a line of business for one particular, I think it's for derivatives or something. Like that, for different product types, these are line of businesses, they are getting impacted. There are different systems that are getting affected. Okay, what is the project dependencies? Okay, who are the stakeholders? Who is the project sponsor? Who is the business lead? Who is the solution architect? Who is the quality assurance person? Who is the project management officer? Who is the chief data officer? Who is the IAM lead? IAM means identity access. Who will have access to the system? The guy who's taken care of that thing. So all these, see how many different people, and these are just the leads. Under them, there are multiple people. Okay, so all these people who are involved in the project, they are called stakeholders. What are they called? Stakeholders. So there are stakeholders, SMEs, and users. SME means subject matter expert. The people who are expert for some particular application. So let's say there is a loan application, and there's this guy who knows everything about that loan. So we'll say he's the subject matter expert. He's the subject matter expert for that application. Okay. So you have to identify all these different people. They are identified in the document. Okay, these are the list of SMEs. Okay, for this system, OVS system, this guy is the SME. For GPP system, this guy is the SME. For the BEST system, this guy is the SME. Okay. Then scope. What is in scope? What is in scope? What is out of scope? Clearly have to define it. Are you following me? Are you guys following me?
Yes.
Okay. You have to clearly define what is in scope, what is out scope. This item is in scope. This item is out of scope. We are not going to touch these things. We have to clearly define it. Then risk, assumption, risk, issues, and dependency. What are the assumptions you are taking? What are the risks that you already see it? What are the issues that you can think of? What are the dependency? Let's say I have dependency that this particular system should be sending me data. Let's say there is a risk that we are dependent on some external vendor to send us the data. Let's say we are assuming that this team will do this. So whatever the assumption, risk, and dependency are there, we have to clearly mention it out. Okay. Then what is the current state of the system? Okay, currently the data is coming from here, it is going there, it is going here, it is going here, it is going like some diagram they are trying to explain it, and they are writing it down also. Whatever it is, they are trying to explain it. What is the current flow? Okay, they are trying to explain it. Okay, whatever the data is coming, it's coming from these systems, it's going into this system, from this system it's going into this database, from this database it's going into this database, from here they are doing the calculation, from whatever, through the diagram they are trying to explain it. Okay. What is the future? When we make the changes, how the future system will look like? Then they will explain that also. So current state, future state. Okay, then what are the actual requirements? In this case, the requirement is basically data quality control. Okay, so what they are saying here is, they are saying that our requirement is basically you have to check data for continuity, conformity, and completeness. Okay, what is continuity? The regulator gave us certain data elements: applicant city name, applicant country, applicant name, okay, bank identifier, bank name, beneficiary bank branch address, beneficiary name, all these different career name. See, it's very simple attributes, right? You can understand what are these data attributes, right? Customer identification number, customer country. Are you able to understand what are the data elements?
Yes.
Okay. So what they are saying is, they are saying that they gave us a list of data elements. There are a total of 71 data elements that they gave us, and they said that you need to monitor the data in from all the systems for these data elements for conformity. Conformity means, so for example, they gave us a rule. They said that applicant city name must not exceed 140 alphanumeric character. Okay. So if applicant city name is more than 140 alphanumeric, means it is an error. We have to continuously check it. So that's a conformity. Okay. Because they think that the city name cannot be more than 140 characters. If it is more than 140, that means there is some data issue. The data is not qualified to be reported. Because sometimes the data is entered by who?
So
it is entered by manual, some people, front-end people, right? They can make mistakes.
Ankit,
yeah.
So here is the conformity you're talking about, that like data type and how many characters it will be. If it's more than 140 characters, so it's exceed, so it's not acceptable. If it's
Yeah, it's
140 or less than, if it's 140 or less than, that is the acceptable. That's the conformity.
acceptable. Exactly. When we say completeness, means it should be always populated. If it is blank, that means it's a something issue. Okay.
One more
And
time.
continuity
So
means
completeness. So completeness means whatever requirement and whatever we got, everything is matched. That's the completeness.
no. Completeness means that there should be it should never be blank.
Yeah, it is false or true. It is false or true.
Never be blank.
I understand. Result maybe it is false or true. That is that thing you're talking about that? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I understand.
And then continuity is that if an applicant name in one system is a particular, I'll show you the various systems. Okay, let me zoom in. We just made a diagram for this. Okay, these are the different systems: OVS, Q31, PEP, Y48, EGW, ITT, Q. These are various systems. From all these systems, we are getting all the 71 attributes. Okay, and we are bringing it into a database. And from that database, we are bringing into a different database, and we are checking for all the systems. Okay, so as a business analyst, we are given this requirement, a list of attributes. We are engaging with the SMEs of these attributes, of these systems, and they are giving us the mapping. See, I'll show you the mapping.
Ankit, yeah. So your last one is just skip it. I have a question over the attributes mean, so user their
data element.
Yes, so user they're inserting, deleting, or they're doing that and that is the thing, they're changing something. So basically,
actually attribute means data element. That's it.
Data elements. Okay.
Yeah. Either you call it data element name or you call it a data attribute. It's the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. So we are looking for, let's say this is the fields that we are looking for, and this is the mapping for, let's say GPP. GPP is the system. So they are saying in our system, in our database, originator name is basically originator name or COV name. Beneficiary bank address city is this particular field. Country code is this particular, and they are giving the position in the file as well. Maybe it's a file, they are giving us the position in the file. At which position we will find that data. Okay. So like that, we are creating a mapping. We are at C, because they might have, we are only looking for 71 attributes. They might have 1,000 attributes in their systems, 1,000 data elements in their systems. Right? But we are not looking for those 1,000 data attributes. We are only looking for 7. So what we are telling them? We are telling them, hey, this is the list of the data elements that we are looking for. Can you identify these data elements in your system and tell us what are the field name and what is the table name or what is the file name? Sometimes the data is in a file format. If it's in the file format, what is the file name and what is the field name and the position? If it's in a table format, what is the table name, what is the column name?
Okay.
Once we identify it in their system, we were using the ETL. You remember ETL? ETL tool, which could be Informatica or whatever. The developer will bring the data from their system into a central repository, and then he will do all the analysis, and after doing all the analysis, he will check for all the things and he will publish a report that this particular data element from this system. So this is how reports look like. I can even show you.
Yes. So Ankit, when developer process the ETL tools, that time, if we have to check the validated, so if developer did anything is wrong or right, we have to.
I will tell you what will be your job. I'll tell you what will be your job. Okay. See. Okay. First of all, first of all, you need to be good with Microsoft Outlook. Do you guys used to know how to use Microsoft Outlook?
Yes, I have.
Access, and he will write just like this. I need access please provide. He won't even write comma. This is how he used to, and he got fired in 1 week. My job was to basically get the requirements. I got the requirement. I got the list of data elements, and I had to work with these individual source system SMEs, and I scheduled meeting with them and identify the data elements in their system. The project was data quality related. I had to make sure that the data quality related. Your project is different. Your project is regulatory report. Okay, developing the regulatory report and assisting whatever the ongoing activities are related to the regulatory report. So in your project,
that is mine.
Now let me both of you. I think let me see what are Saida's requirement.
Yeah, see mine too. Share your screen, please.
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay.
In my case, it shows more of like it required on job description. It required business analysis experience, OFSA experience, finance and accounting background, and
OFSA, what is OFSA? Okay. So as I was explaining, you guys can see my screen, right?
yes.
Okay. Okay. So see, OFSA, basically, this is the source. They called it SOR. SOR basically means system of record. System of record means the original source where we are getting the data from. Okay. So let me show you a diagram. Okay. Okay. See, so they are they are basically implementing OFSA. So OFSA is nothing but a data model. Okay, it has different tables. So they are taking data from different source of system of records, and they are bringing into OFSA environment, and they are loading it into staging tables. The staging tables are as per the different products, and then they are calculating, they are reconciling the data with the general ledger. Okay, they are getting the general ledger data. You see, this is the general ledger data. So they are getting the general ledger. General ledger means bahi khata, right? What is coming in, what is going out. Okay, so you are getting the data from the system of record. See, every time a transaction is made, it is recorded at two places. It is recorded. So let's say you sold something, right? You sold a loan. So it is the loan detail will be there in the loan table, but it will also be get recorded in the general ledger that that $10,000 went out of the bank as a loan. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When a customer makes a payment, let's say I have an account with the bank, I made a payment to my account, that transaction will get recorded in my account also, but it will get recorded in the general ledger also that a customer made a payment. It will be as a debit payment. Okay, so every transaction is recorded in the system of records also, and it is located in the general ledger also. So when we get the data from system of records, we always reconcile it with the general ledger. Okay, whether or not the data is matching or not. So when we are getting this data from system of record, we are reconciling it. Reconciling means matching. Okay, we are reconciling the data with the with the general ledger, and we are loading it into the staging area. Staging area means whatever the staging area is basically your temporary putting the data in a staging in those tables. And from those tables, you will be calculating whatever RWA and all that, and you will be storing the data in the results table after calculation RWA and whatnot. And then finally, using a reporting tool, you will report. So this whole model is OFSA model.
Okay.
Okay, so OFSA is nothing but a set of tables.
Okay.
So what will be your job? Your job will be basically, see, some of the tables here, the data might not be currently coming in from certain systems. So they will give you list of data elements, and they will tell you from these systems the data is not currently coming in. So you have to coordinate efforts with the system, source system, or maybe the data is available in some other database, some data warehouse. So you have to find out, and then you have to access that database, and you have to do some analysis. Okay, from this system you have to write a query. So let's say there is a loan data, some loan data that you are looking for. Let's say there are some attributes from loan table. Let's say account closing date and account opening date and total balance. Let's say these are the three fields you are looking for loan, and you are looking from ACBS system. Okay, so there is a data warehouse. Okay, so and in that data warehouse there is a loan table. So you will write a query. Let's say select star from loan table where source system is equal to ACBS, and you will try to find closing date. You will try to find and you will just select closing date, whatever the balance, total balance, whatever the column that you are looking for from loan where source equal to ACBS, and you will see if the data is populated there or no. If the data is not there, that means currently the data is not coming in there from that particular source system, right?
Right.
So this is what gap analysis means. Basically investigating which table, because the data travels through various systems before it reaches to the final destination. So you have to see which system the data. So usually this is how, I mean, in general, every bank has different architecture. But if you look at the data warehouse, okay, if you look at the data warehousing image, okay, let's say here there are multiple systems. Okay, the data is coming there. This is our warehouse. This is our data warehouse. From this data warehouse, we have created different data mart. Let's say this is the data mart. This is the data model for OFSA. This is where all the OFSA tables and everything are there, right? Now there are so many tables. Let's say out of those, let's say currently it does not have data, the OFSA data model. In the OFSA data model, currently we don't have the data for guarantees and collateral from ACBA, let's say from ABC and XYZ system. Or let's say, I'll tell you the real system name, like FDR is a system, ACLS is a system. There are different systems, right?
Ankit,
yeah.
I'm sorry. So data warehouse and data mart. So warehouse is huge data. So data mart has less data. Data mart has less data than warehouse. That is the data mart. Like they make like separate for.
Good question. Let me explain. Data warehouse. So let's say, for example, loan data. Okay.
Yes.
In the loan data, you might have customer name. You might have the customer account name, customer address. So many. Let's say for the loan, you have like, let's say 500 fields. Okay.
Okay.
But let's say you want to generate regulatory report. In the regulatory report, you don't need to report the individual loan data. You don't need to report the customer name and all those things. You just need to report the balances.
Okay.
So what you will do is, you see, that's why they see purchasing, sales, inventory. So let's say, imagine like this is regulatory. So for regulatory, let's say if we look at this particular data model, OFSA data model, okay, if you look at this data model, okay, let's say we look at this table, loan contract table. So it only needs this data, these fields. It doesn't need 1,000 field, all the fields that the data warehouse has for the loans. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So data mart basically whatever we need.
Data mart has a specific purpose. Data mart has a specific purpose.
Okay.
Data warehouse might have all the things related to loans. Customer information, reference information, currency information, so much information it has. It's like a big ocean, and data mart is a lake for specific purpose.
So data mart was already created. I have to take data from there.
OFSA is nothing but a data mart. It's a data model. See, when you have a database is what? Database is basically lot of space, right? Where you can store the data electronically. That is a database, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how will you store? You have to have some structure, right? You have to have some structure. Okay, this is a loan table. This is this table. In this table, I'll store this. In this table, I'll store this. In this table, I'll store. You have to have some structure. That structure is data model.
So basically, data model is a normalized version of data, right?
Exactly. It could be normalized, denormalized, whatever, depending on the model. But OFSA, what OFSA is giving you? OFSA is giving you set of tables. That, hey guys, if you want to support your regulatory reporting, okay, make sure you get all these different, for loan contracts, all your loan contracts, get all of these data elements. Okay, for your mortgage product, get all of these data elements. So let's say you have 10 systems in which the mortgage data is sitting, or let's say 2 systems. So you will go to those, you will first, so that's what I'm telling you. You got the requirement, you need all of these data elements. You will go to data warehouse. Out of all of these data elements, let's say account close date, account contribution, account this. Let's say, just imagine, let's say these 3 are the requirements. Let's say in the 2 requirement, you are able to find that you query the loan table, and let's say you need from 3 systems. So you find out that out of these 3, from the 3 systems, you need the 3 data elements, okay, for the loan product. So see, there are so many different things involved. There is source system, then there is product, and then there is data attribute. So there is a hierarchical relationship, right? So let's say there is a particular system. Let's say there is a source system called, let's say, ACBS. ACBS, let's say, has loan data also, and it has, let's say, letter of credit, LOC, letter of credit data also. Okay, now this is your OFSA model. In OFSA model, you need the loan data, and loan data you need attribute. Let's say you need closing date, you need balance, some sort of balance, and you need guarantor flag. Okay, and then this is your source system. Okay, and then in between you have your data warehouse. Okay, this is your data warehouse. In your data warehouse also you have tables. Let's say you have a loan table here. Okay, in this loan table, and let's say there is another system called ACLS that also has loans and LOC. Okay, so in the loan table here, you have multiple source system, multiple data from multiple systems. So it will be like this: source system ID. Okay, source system ID, and it will have total, balance, and let's say account number, and then it will have closing date. I'm telling about this particular table. These are the columns. For this particular table, let's say these are the columns. Okay, these are the columns. Okay, total, balance, closing date. So it will be stored like this: ACLS, ACBS, for different sources. Because from what is the purpose of data warehouse? The purpose of data from all different sources, it is combining it into one product type. The source system might be different, but the product is common, loan. Okay, so it will give the source system ID, but for that record is from this particular system. This record is from this particular system. Now, let's say the OFSA model, in the OFSA data table, for the loan table, we need these three attributes. Now, let's say you queried the data warehouse table and you are able to find these two data attributes, closing date and balance date, from ACLS. And ACBS, there is no data. So you know the data is not available. So you will talk to whoever the data warehouse ETL developer is, or somebody who's working on those tables, who has developed those tables. You will ask them that, hey, why the ACBS data is not available? He'll say that, yeah, it is currently in development. We are not currently bringing in the ACBS data. You will say, okay, you will identify, okay, it is a gap. So when you have your list of requirements, list of data elements, remember that document that I was showing you?
Yes.
In the gap analysis document, you will basically mention it as a gap, that it is not available currently. And the one that is available, you will mention that, yeah, this is available. This is the table name, this is the column name. Let me show you a data gap analysis document. Data. Either you can make it like this. I mean, you can use any format. Okay. Okay, I'll just make one for you. Okay, so for, let's say I need, let's say these are, let's say I'll just take some examples from here. Okay, from the OFSA data model. Let's say I need these fields. Okay, I need these fields. So I will do all of that analysis. I will look into the database. Let's say I will copy them. Oh my God, it's copied in one. Okay, let's say account number, closing date, guarantee, flag. All these are different data attributes. Okay. Now let's say ACBS. Okay. I'll say available, yes, and I will also say here ACBS. I will just mention the table name and column name. Table name, column name. Okay. Let's say D underscore loan. Table name is, a column name is account underscore num. I found it. Let's say this one for ACBS, I could not find it, not found. Okay. I'll write this one closing date also not found. Let's say guarantor flag. I'll say D underscore loan, GTR underscore SLT. Now for the same attributes, let's say ACLS. ACLS, again, table name, column name. Let's say I could not find any, the data from the source system is not available in the table. So I'll say not found. So like that, you do gap analysis. What data, which database, which table is it available currently, not available, those kind of things. But
So
before you
Ankit,
do that, you have to,
Ankit, so main gap analysis means something is missing, is not complete, isn't it?
exactly, exactly,
Okay.
So I have a
right.
question. Based on the bank environment, is there any way that I can request an access to? Do they carry any kind of drive that can give you the access to all kind of data?
See,
Can
that's
you?
what you have to first understand. First, you
Hmm.
have to understand, okay, what how what the project is about.
Right.
Okay, they might say okay, we are using OFSA. Okay, they'll say that, and then they'll assign you some particular product, because that's why I'm telling you to get familiarized with the product and with this thing. They might assign you mortgages, they might assign you guarantees or some particular product. They'll say, okay, for this particular product, you work with the source system SMEs and you find out where the data, do we have it? Then you can ask them counter questions. Do we have any current mappings for these tables? Can I get the data? You can get the data architectural diagram. Data architectural diagram will basically tell you how the data is flowing in for these systems. Okay. So
Okay.
and then slowly you will work through it. So let's say they give you swaps, that you have to work on swaps. So you will identify. Okay, you can ask them questions. Okay, what are the source systems that are supplying the data for swaps? Okay, then what are the data attributes that are required for swaps? Then you'll see, okay, let me check in the data, is the data for swaps currently coming into our data warehouse or no? If it's coming, what is the table in the data warehouse where the swaps data is stored? So all these information you need to ask, you need to investigate. And once you get all the information, then you will start your analysis. You can't start your analysis and make sure you have access to those databases, the test environment and all that. So there is a lot of, obviously you can't start your work from day one. And then you will work with the source system SMEs. Then you will be creating source to target mappings. You will do all that analysis. You will be involved in testing the data. Once the data is coming into these tables, then you will be testing also those tables, all those things. Yeah, what's your question, MD?
Ankit, so while we are meeting, so I can ask that type of question you just told us. And another question, at least they will provide us 1 week or 2 week understand the main project, main work.
Yes. But the smart thing here would be, MD, and both of you is to make sure, Sayyeda, to make sure that you talk like an experienced person, okay, and you should not be like totally blank, because see, most of these projects is pretty much the same. If you read your previous project, it's like you have worked on OFSA, you have worked on gap analysis, you have done testing, you have done data analysis, you have worked on different reports. So like there are ways you can even test the report, right? So basically when you test, how mostly it's the testing and analysis part that you guys will be involved in. So once the data is going from here to here, the loan data, so you have to see, okay, if the data from one particular system, let's say ACBS system, the balance is $100. When it is going over here, it is $100 here. And when it is finally getting reported, it is getting reported $100. Okay. And then also for the reporting, let's say, these reports pretty much have the same kind of data. So sometimes you do inter-report testing. So when you go there, you have to ask for BRDs, you have to go into meetings, you will understand the meeting, you will understand from those meetings, you have to participate in discussions, and then as I was showing you, you have to email, you have to identify all the different key stakeholders, who are the SMEs, who are the stakeholders, who are the developers, who are the testers, who are the QA people, because there are so many different people who are working, right? Unless you don't identify them, you don't identify their role, what is their responsibility, what is your responsibility. I can pretty much tell you will be like doing data analysis, working with the different source system SMEs, creating the source to target mapping, helping in testing, creating data lineage documents, creating traceability documents, executing test cases. Those will be your responsibility.
I have a question. It might be a simple
Mhm.
one. The question is like, say for example, I have given off the tools to work on, right? So once I'm done, and say for example, I found some gap or missing data in it, or maybe the analysis is done and it's successfully done. So do I wait till the time frame is done to report, or like do I escalate the report right away?
So you are saying the data analysis is done. See,
Mm-hmm.
if the data analysis is done and the mapping is obviously, see, there is some gap. That's what why you are working, right? So either you have to identify the existing data that is there in the data warehouse and you have to bring it to your offshore data model.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the data is not there currently in the offshore data model. That's why they are hiring you, right?
Right, right.
If they have everything already, and it's why would they hire you? Obviously, they don't have it.
So my question is, say for example, I detected what's missing in there, and when I
Right.
found that this is missing, so
Mhm.
I should be reporting it to somebody or to the developer or to the tester that hey, this
Yeah,
data is
yeah.
missing in there.
Exactly. You will be coordinating with the, there will be a separate ETL team, development
So
team.
so my question is,
Ye-
what will be the correct what will be the right time for me to report it? Like for a
Yeah,
particular
yeah, I
topic.
understand your question.
Yeah,
So there is something called as project plan.
yeah.
Okay. And that's why I was explaining you the SDLC model. So initially you will be in the requirement definition. So when you are in the requirement gathering phase, all you will be doing is doing gap, and once you have identified the gap, then the design will happen.
Mhm.
Okay. Then after design, development will happen. Then after development, testing according to the project plan. This is how project plan looks like. You see?
Right.
Let me show you a good project. So it will have all the different activities.
So my particular portion should be only to do the analysis and report it to the particular department who needs
No,
to know.
your deliverable, I'm telling you exactly what your deliverable will be, that you will get to know on the project. But the most common deliverable are doing analysis, updating the BRD, updating the FRD, okay, and then creating source to target mappings, creating data lineage document. Sometimes you even help in testing, writing test cases, executing test cases, writing, documenting the defects, coordinating with different team members, arranging meetings, capturing meeting minutes.
Got it.
All from any, you could have any of these responsibilities.
Okay.
So that's why if you want, take a picture of these things. See, if you want, what will be your deliverables? I'll tell you what your deliverables will be. You see all the orange items?
Yeah.
Like it, just take a picture of this thing and know what all these things are. BRD, FRD, identifying gaps, source to target mapping.
Okay. Shahriar, could you please mute it?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, source to target mapping, BRD, FRD. What is test plan? What is test scenario? What is test case? What is data lineage? Okay, yeah, take this whole picture. What is traceability metrics? What is data lineage? All these orange things will be your deliverables.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So just
Okay.
take. So read about this thing and ask me question in the next meeting. What are these deliverables?
Sure.
But you understand the whole picture, right? So the end goal is to produce the report.
Right.
the end goal is now there will be a reporting team also. You might have to coordinate with the reporting team as well. The who will create the report, the end report.
Got it.
So Ankit, question about users show us whole scenario in their environment. As a BA, we don't have. Personally, as a BA, I don't have to do everything. So when I get the document, when I get the project, so some sort of job I have done. That is my job. When I go office.
See, for you, what I understood is for you is that Roger, your boss, he is actually developing a big data database. So there are different type of databases, right? Oracle, SQL. There is this new technology called big data.
Big data, yes.
In big data, there is Hadoop. Hadoop is a technology. Okay, so he is given responsibility to develop the Hadoop technology, using Hadoop technology, developing a big data database. So he is right now in planning phase.
What is that?
Right now he is in planning phase.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he is trying to identify all the different systems from where he has to capture the data and what data he has to capture. The Hadoop development will be done by some developer. You won't be doing the Hadoop development. Okay. Right now he is in the design and planning phase, so he will be discussing with you. Okay, we have to coordinate with this application. You can ask him, for which product are we targeting to get the data for? What are the different source systems? What is the current existing architecture? You can understand. He will explain you all those things.
So now again about my responsibility, so I can do some exercise, warehouse, data mart, again and again also query.
Again, your deliverables will be MD. Your deliverables will be the orange things that I'm showing you. Data warehouse, data mart is not a deliverable.
Okay.
Ankit, before you finish, I have a small request. You were showing the official format of emailing. Could you please show me some of the samples so I can have an idea?
Sure.
And one question, Ankit, if they ask me who was your manager, last project manager?
Just say whoever, Mike, Shaik, whatever, say any name. How does it matter?
Okay, no problem. And another thing, like I'm living in New York. My driving license in New York. So my job was Virginia. So that won't be problem. New York driving license.
Just say I used to travel from Virginia, although my base is in New York. I used to travel every alternate week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah.
So the official emails, please.
Yeah, actually my computer is restarting right now.
Okay.
The computer is showing, so give me some time.
You can provide some template, Ankit. You can provide some template, Ankit.
Deliver in your previous project, you can say that I was given a list of data elements. Okay, so you can say that there were few products for which the data. So sometimes, see, what happens is sometimes there are certain systems for which they don't have the time to develop the data, bring it in staging, from staging bring it in data warehouse, from data warehouse bring it. They don't have so much time. Okay, so because they have to do the reporting. Okay, so what they do is they take the data directly from the source system and they report the data in the report directly. Do you understand?
Yeah.
They do the calculation, all the calculation, they skip all the parts, they skip all the middle part, which is not a good practice. because it's a manual process and it can you cannot depend on that data. I mean, it's a very risky process. But sometimes when you don't have time, when you don't have resources and you have to report certain data, then you have no other option but to do it, right?
Yes.
So for that time they do it, but eventually in the long run they want to automate it. So you can say my previous project was basically automation project. So they were taking the data directly from the source system, and they were bypassing all the intermediary systems, all the intermediary systems that were in place. So I was working on automating it, right? So you can identify, okay, for this product, okay, for these products from these source system, these were the data elements that they were directly reporting. So I identified those elements in the source system. I worked with the staging team. See, there will be separate team for each of these systems: staging area, warehouse, data mart. There will be different separate development team, testing team, separate development and testing team for warehouse, separate development and testing team for data mart, separate development and testing team for reporting. So if you have to bring the data all the way from here to report, see, you have to work with so many different people, so many different teams. You have to coordinate with them. It's a huge effort, right?
Yes.
Because in each system you have to bring data, you have to test the data, then you might identify defects. So first of all, you have to identify the data. Then after identifying, you have to develop the code. You have to develop the code. After developing the code, you have to test the code. Then you have to test the data. Then same thing from here to here. You have to first discuss with the architect how we are going to migrate the data from staging into warehouse. Maybe some let's say we want to bring, let's say I had a situation where I had to bring some currency data, but in the warehouse there was no field available to store the currency for that particular product. So then I have to work with the data architect to add that field in the table. I told him that, hey, we need to create some fields. Then I had to submit a logical data model. Then he created them. Then obviously you can't just do like that. It goes through an approval process.
Okay.
Then that happens. Then the development happens. Then the testing. Then you have to test it again. Then same thing again. Requirement, development, design, development, testing. Then again to bring it to report. You see, it's a huge effort, right? To understand, right? And what is data lineage? Data lineage is once you are reporting a particular data element in the report, what is the history of that? How? So in this system, let's say AC, this is the source system. In this, it was account num. Here it was in so and so table, and it was called account number. Here it was in so and so table, and it was called ACCT num and no. Here it was in so and so table, and it was called this. And here, so like that's the whole data lineage. So how do you create data lineage? You create data lineage by getting the source to target mapping. So there will be a source to target mapping from here to here. There will be a source to target mapping from here to here. There will be a source to target mapping from here to here. So you will combine all the source to target mapping, and you will identify what is the path of that particular data element, and you will put it in one picture. That is called data lineage.
Got it.
What is traceability matrix? Traceability matrix is basically, let's say you have a requirement. Okay, what is the business requirement? For that business requirement, you have a functional requirement. For that functional requirement, you have a design requirement. For that design requirement, you are testing those design requirements. So you have test cases. So that whole traceability is called traceability matrix.
Okay.
Okay, so please guys read how testing is done. What is test cases? What is test plan? What is BRD? What is FRD? What is data lineage? What is traceability metrics?
Okay.
These will be your deliverables. In any project you go, it will be the same deliverables. So if anybody asks you what were you delivering in the previous project, you can say the same thing. I was doing gap analysis. I was doing I was creating source to target mapping. I was doing testing. I was assisting in testing. I was executing UAT test cases. I was creating defects. I was creating data lineage. I was creating traceability metrics, the same thing.
So basically,
Now,
you can as a background, you can tell what you're basically going to do.
Yeah.
Alright.
And so project could differ. So for example, your previous project, you can say it was an automation project. Automation means already they were doing something, but they were doing it manually, and you are doing it in an automated way through the tool. Okay. Now, other project, you can say that you were implementing a fresh OFSA. You were implementing a data mart. That was not there. They were just directly taking the data from data warehouse, and there was a different data mart which was used for so many different things, but they wanted a dedicated data mart. So you can say you were working on creating a dedicated data mart for regulatory reporting. But your deliverables will remain the same, right? Identifying the requirements for the new data mart, identifying what data elements you need to bring it in the data mart, creating mapping documents, testing the data, testing the code, same deliverable, right?
Right. Got it.
I worked on one project. In that project, they were retiring the whole data warehouse and they were implementing a new data warehouse because the data model in that data warehouse was not able to accommodate some of the new the data that was being generated by the source system. And see, because data warehouse also have limitations, right? Some old data warehouse, you can keep on adding tables and tables, but after a time, you just can't add more stuff because it becomes just so slow. You have to implement a new strategy, a new way of storing things. Make sense?
Makes sense.
So the project could be of so many different, but it's all data related, but all financial data related, regulatory data. What is regulatory data? Now you understand all these things, right?
Yeah, I do.
So very important, guys, understand products. Understanding what is mortgage, what are the different data elements within mortgage, because you will be playing with these tables day in, day out. They have the definitions here as well. I don't expect you that you understand everything, but at least the common ones, basic few, as much as you can, try to understand, so for example, let's say, and ask me questions. If you don't understand something from reading, ask me questions. What is borrowing? Just copy borrowing, finance. What is borrowing? What is annuity contract? What is retirement account? What is investment? What is derivative? What is swap? What is forward contracts? What are options? What are futures? What is general ledger? What is sub ledger? Because you will be dealing with these data.
Okay. One more thing. Is this session getting recorded?
Yes.
Can I get the link emailed?
Sure.
Sure. Thank you.
So Ankit, my last question, you just told us last 2-3 minutes about myself, whatever I did. So I can take that point.
Yeah, I see. This is your resume, right?
MD Shah, yeah.
See, this is your requirement. Have you gone through the requirement? Prior bank, credit risk, commercial lending, enterprise risk, Basel, CCAR, regulatory reporting, risk and compliance. Okay. Writing SQL queries, research data in SQL, pulling data. Okay. Work on relational databases, moving data into Excel. So Excel also is very important, guys. Do you guys know VLOOKUPs, HLOOKUPs, index matches? Do you know Excel formulas?
Yes, VLOOKUP I did.
Basic Excel formulas. Okay. Make sure you go at least the basic ones you should know. Pivot charts. How to do pivot charts. SUMIF, all these basic VLOOKUPs, if statements, at least basic Excel you should know. Okay. And then working in agile environment. So agile I'll explain in next scenario, next this thing. Okay. And then see, experience in communicating effectively with the business partner, project manager, team members. That's what I'm telling you, because you will be working with so many different teams, so many different people. So that's why you should have good communication skills, good skills to write emails and all. Okay. Able to manage multiple priorities, right? Because you might have multiple products, you might be working on multiple things. So what is the priority? Always get clarity about what is the priority that you have to work on. Something that can wait, that can wait. Something that has to be immediately deliverable, start working on those things. Okay. Experience in leading requirements, design process, technical, all these things. Knowledge of Hadoop ecosystem. So I told him that I've not worked on real-time Hadoop, but you can read about what is Hadoop. MD?
Can you
MD?
read it?
Yes, I got it.
Yeah, you can read what is Hadoop. Okay,
Yeah.
knowledge of and understanding Hadoop. So Hadoop is nothing but a type of database only, but how does it work? You can read about that.
So
Okay.
before, have I worked with Hadoop? In my resume, I haven't seen it.
No, we haven't mentioned Hadoop. And I told him that I haven't worked on Hadoop. He said that's fine. But I said I'm familiar with Hadoop. So just Hadoop is a big data technology. It's just a different way to store data. So just read that. And then experience with FFIC 101. FFIC, you know, right? That's the Basel report.
Yeah.
FRY report. FRY is the 14A, FRY 14A, 14Q, 14M. That's the CCAR report. OCC is Office of Comptroller. OCC is Office of OCC portal, or like OCC is Office of Comptroller. Office of Comptroller of the Currency. This is like under the US of Treasury Department. Okay. So under the US of Treasury, OCC, tax, all these come under OCC. So basically they are saying you should know familiar with OCC requirements. So see, requirements, these regulations come from different agencies. OCC also has regulations. FRB, Federal Reserve Bank, also have regulations. SEC, the stock exchange, they also have regulations. So different government agencies impose different regulation on the banks. Okay. So they are building this central Hadoop system which will support all the different regulatory needs of the bank. They will be able to store the data that is required for all the different reports required by the different regulatory agencies. Okay. The next thing is wholesale, retail, traded product experience. Okay. That's what I am telling you guys. Read about these products. If you don't understand the products, you are not familiar with the common data attributes that are there in the products, that will be a problem. Okay. And then experience with OFSA. This is OFSA basically, FSDS. Read a little bit about FSDS and OFSA and ask me questions.
Okay.
This is your MD, this is your thing.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
And then for Sayyada, Sayyada is pretty much OFSA, Basel, same thing. You are more focused on OFSA.
Yes.
But pretty much the same thing you will be working. Identifying, evaluating, developing systems. Same thing. Okay. Your manager is Martha Norris and Mike Peel.
So one last request, like for the introductory day, like the initial day,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think should be my performance? Like
I think just to talk to. They'll tell you about the project. So listen to them and try to understand the project. Even if you don't know something, they'll say, okay, so we are doing GL reconciliation, and we are currently trying to identify these systems, and we are working on these products. So they'll say, okay, yeah, just listen to them. I mean, initially that's all you can do. They might ask you, have you worked on this? So you can just say, yeah. I mean, I've created mapping. If they say have you worked on this? Yeah, I've worked in. You can say yes. Then you can see. You can always, there is one thing to somebody asks you question, and then there is one way to answer a question. Always,
right.
whenever somebody asks you question, try to bring them in your comfort zone. See, what I do is somebody asks me a question. Let's say somebody will say me, oh, have you worked on this thing? Yeah, I have worked on this thing in regard to like creating the source to target mapping, because now I understand what source to target mapping is. You see what I'm saying?
I know.
I've worked on, yeah, bring them, say them in regard to. Don't don't say things that you don't know, but at the same time you can answer them also.
Right.
I've worked on testing. Then have you worked on testing the data that was transferred from the source system into target systems. I've worked on executing test cases. I've worked with the different business groups to identify the requirements, converting those requirements into functional requirements, and then working with the developers in case they have any questions, working with the testers, coordinating with different business, with different teams. Yeah, I mean, these are the basic responsibility of the business analyst.
Do they ever ask you any example of your project, like the last project, like what was the name of your project?
Yeah, so no, not name, and yeah, just make up. Yeah, it was a Basel implementation project. Just make up any name.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. They might ask you which team you were in. So you can say, yeah, I was a part of the IT team, the data warehousing, or you can say I was part of the data mart, the OSTA data mart team, or you can say I was part of the data warehousing team, or you can say I was part of the reporting team, because that's what I'm saying. Like they're like different teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Data mart, reporting. If you are part of the reporting team, you are working more on the reporting side. So when you work on the reporting side, you are more focused on the report. You test the report, the look and feel of the report, and you test whether the data in the report is matching with the data in the database, right? Sometimes they need functionalities. That okay, let's say in the final report they need to make some changes. So then you can say I worked on basically providing them functionality to make changes directly to the report. Like let's say there is a number, there is a 1 million or something like that, but the actual number is 1.01 million. So they need to change it slightly. That's called topsiding. Okay, so I mean on the reporting side again the same thing, testing the report, developing getting the requirements for the report. Gathering the requirements, developing the functional requirements, all those things, coordinating with different teams, writing test cases, participating in defect triage meeting. Defect triage meeting means where we discuss the identified defects.
Okay. It's a triage meeting. Okay.
Yeah. Triage means discuss.
Okay. That pretty much covers me for today, but I'm sure I'm gonna while I'm learning more. I'm gonna come up with more questions. The other thing, not today, but I'm gonna request you to like give me some ideas about official emails or requesting the access, or like how
I'll
people.
show you that. And
All right, I think
okay,
it's the time for iftar. Actually, we're gonna
So
break the fast.
you have a lot to study, right? You guys have written down. Maybe tonight, later on, you can study more. Okay.
Sure.
Ankit, I'm studying 5, 6, 8 hours every day. Every day.
That's good, man. It is only going to help you guys. Okay. My first project, I also used to study so much. Like I'll study like, 5, 6 hours. I'll go to job. I'll come back till late in the 10 o'clock. I'll study, then morning 8 o'clock. So obviously first project you have to put in hard work, and you have to bring yourself to that level. And once you get there, and it's not very difficult, man. Once you do your first project, after 1 year, you will be like, oh man, it was so easy. I mean, this is like for me, like I can do this in sleep as well, because yeah, obviously I've worked for like 10 years now. That's a different thing. But
Ankit, I guess you have a business background. That's why it's easy for you.
yeah, and also I did a lot of studying from my side. I watched a lot of videos. I used to watch a lot of Basel, like you was asking, like there are so many videos on Basel on YouTube. I used to, like, even my favorite pastime, even in the night time, I'll put something in my earphone and I'll keep listening to it, because I have a natural inclination towards learning. So that's, if you also have to develop that. Okay. So, and once you get to that level, then obviously you don't have to study all your life, but initially you have to.
Update myself. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank
Like
you so
tomorrow
much.
you are driving, instead of listening to songs, just put some data warehousing or testing
Yes.
video and listen to
Yes,
it.
I will. I will. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Ankit.
Okay, thank you. Hopefully we'll
Okay.
get to talk to you Tuesday.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.